Hello everyone, it's Dana Sullivan, your Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a great weekend. As you know, Easter Sunday is coming up this next weekend, and many of us celebrate Easter, and if you don't celebrate Easter, well, you still probably enjoy the springtime. So I've created this beautiful little gift bag out of the all dressed up bag die to show you how to make the Easter Bunny and the bag, which is perfect for a fabulous little spring treat. Now, wonderful thing about this video is that it's part of a fun and exciting collaboration with a few other demonstrators who are going to show you their take on a project using this same die. So if you already have the all dressed up dies and are looking for fun and exciting ideas to use them for, then you'll see links down in the description box below. Make sure that you visit all of those demos and see their video projects, because I know you're just going to love them. All right, and if you don't already have one of the all dressed up dies and you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, just leave me a comment down below or contact me via whatever social media you use, and I would love to get it for you. So, all right, let's get this started, shall we? Isn't this absolutely adorable? I am in love with the little Easter Bunny. It's what we call paper piecing, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, so you'll be able to do it yourself, and it's a lot of fun and you're going to love it. So let's get started, okay? All right, obviously the first thing that you're going to need is the bag die, and you're going to die cut 2 of the bag pieces. You need 2 of them to create one bag. And I've used the tufted embossing folder to create the texture on the bag itself. Did you know you could do that? Die cut a piece of paper out using the die, and then whatever embossing folder you want to create whatever texture you want. That adds a whole world of possibilities, doesn't it? All right, so you need 2 of the bag, and then you're going to need 2 of the straps as well, because we're using a double handle method here. Now, you don't have to do double method. You could just put one handle across here. That's totally fine. It's entirely up to you. This is your bag. Okay, what else you're going to need is 2 white 1.5-inch circles. You're going to need 4 white small ovals. Now, these were cut from the Layering Ovals dies using the smallest oval, and I actually cut 4 of the white ones and 4 petal pink ones using the same little die, and then to make the pink layer so that it fits nicely on the white one, I kind of finagled the die a little bit. So I just layered it basically like that, cutting off the bottom section and a little off the edges, and that's how I got the smaller size. All right, and then you're also going to need 2 1/2-inch circle punches in the Whisper White, and then 2, these are just the little handheld hole punch, 2 of them in Petal Pink and 2 in Basic Black. And this is what you're going to need to create this adorable little bunny. All right. Now, another thing that I have done with the pieces before I'm going to assemble them is that I've taken Petal Pink ink and a sponge dauber, and I've gone around all of the pieces except, of course, for the little Basic Black ones. All right, so if you go around each of these pieces, it just adds some really pretty texture and dimension to your paper piece project. Okay, all right, so then we're going to set this off to the side, and let's assemble our bag first. So we've got our 2 pieces here, and we're just going to fold on the score lines, and let me just do this, and then this, and I'm using tear and tape because for a box that's going to have a lot of use or a lot of being handled, I think that the tear and tape holds up a little better than the other adhesive options. So I'm going to use the tear and tape. We'll peel that off, and then I'm just folding over the edges of the tape because it's a little longer than where I laid it, and that's totally fine. Just gives you some more reinforcement there. Okay, so to assemble the bag, we're just going to layer one on top of each other along that seam. And there's that side. And then do the same thing on this side. Lining up our edges there, making sure they line up all the way to the bottom, and then give them a good press. Now, especially if you're embossing your bag, you definitely are going to want to use tear and tape because the embossed areas, excuse me, the embossed areas tend to want to come unstuck. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's just a really good idea to use tear and tape. And then I'm going to use a piece of tear and tape across the bottom. There we go. And the bag itself is done. So the bag is actually really simple to assemble, and then from here you have the ability to push in on these center pieces, which will make your bag do more of this number, or I left mine out so that it makes a nice open space that way. Okay, so you may see it a couple of different ways as you watch the video hop from other people. So, all right, now I'm going to take a sponge dauber and the Petal Pink ink, and I'm just gonna sponge some dimension, some texture, some interest, some stuff. I'm just gonna sponge around the edges of my bag. And this is just going to give it some more feel. It won't be quite so plain. You'll have a little more interest to it. And it gives it a more finished look. You know, it won't be so stark and basic. It'll be very nice. Okay. There we go. And we're just going to go all the way around the bag. Nice and easy. This takes a little minute, but it's worth it to do it. It really is. All right. So I'm excited to show what everyone else is doing with their bags. I'm really excited for you to see it. I know everyone's been working hard on their projects, and there are going to be some fabulous ideas for you to see. So make sure that you hop around to each of the collaborators in this video hop, bringing fun and paper crafting during this quarantine time period. Here we go. All right. Okay, so now we've got the bag, and yes, you're definitely going to want to do the same thing to the handles, just to give them a little bit of something. Okay. It really does make a difference, and I'll show you here in just a second the difference between the two. You'll see how much more lively this one looks with that inking on the edges. Here we go. Alright, so take a look. You see there? Huge difference, right? It's got some more dimension to it. It looks more real. It doesn't look so plastic, so fake. All right. A little bit more here. Now, of course, I've already inked up all of the edges of the pieces that I use for the bunny, because if I hadn't, that would have taken us an hour just to do inking. In fact, I could have went ahead and inked these up too, so I'm sorry for that. But anyway, you definitely want to ink everything up just so that everything is a little bit softer looking and ready to go. All right. Before you glue on your straps, if you'll take your bone folder and just give them a little curl, it'll make it easier to get them in place, and it'll make it easier for them to stay in place. All right, so the first thing I want to do is take the strap, and we're also going to use 2 sets of gold buckles. These are also part of the die set. And you're going to need 4 of them, 2 sets, because you're doing it on all 4 of the little strap pieces. So you'll just weave it like a buckle would be woven. And then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue right here on the bottom of this one. I'm going to set it off to the side and do the next one. I find that if I let my liquid glue get just a little tacky before I use it, it stays better. So we'll come back to this one, and we're going to just attach it right there inside, and I'm going inside the base of the bag. Hold it for just a second, grab the other one, and do the same thing with it. Here we go. And then before we attach the other side, we'll slide these down so that they're in place, and then we're going to slide these buckles on. And you can slide them up a little ways, it's fine. They're not actually getting glued, so it doesn't matter. You can glue them if you want to, but I find I don't need to. And it just leaves an opportunity for me to accidentally get glue in places I don't want it to be. So, there we go. And then we'll slide this one into place here. And I'm deliberately showing you a different way of applying the handles than what I had done on my original one, just to show you 2 different ways of doing the handles. Now, this is just 2 different ways of using the same 2 handles, but you can do other ways with just using 1 handle also. There we go. And so we'll slide this down, and now our straps are in place. And right off, you can see the difference in the 2 bags. Look at how much difference it brings even towards this area right here. This bag looks like it goes in a little more than this bag does, doesn't it? So it looks like this one's a little more open, even though in reality they are exactly the same because they're the same bag. It's interesting how that works, isn't it? Okay, let's get our bunny put together, folks. First thing we need to do is take our big circles here, and we're using a lot of liquid glue. So we're just going to apply a tiny bit of liquid glue along the bottom back of one of the circles, all right? And then we're going to overlap it just like so, and that makes the body of our bunny. Okay, and then we're going to take all of these pieces, and we're going to glue them on top of each other. So we'll just layer the pink ones on top of the white ones. And when you do this, you want to be somewhat deliberate about your placement. So if you notice that there's this gap that goes opposite each other, and the same is true for the ears. So on one set, we want to be closer to the left, and on one set, we want to be closer to the right. Okay. go. And let's go closer to the right. Or closer to the left, I mean. Get myself confused. Closer to the left, closer to the right. Here we go, closer to the right and closer to the left. Alright, so there's that set. And then with these two, you can put them right in the middle, down towards the bottom. So they want just a little space there, but not much. Okay. And then here. Now, I had done another one of these bunnies last year, but our 3/4 inch circle was still a current product then, and so I had made bunnies just a little bit bigger, and where these are a 1/2 inch circle, I had used 3/4 inch circle, and so I was able to use the bigger layered ovals and the smaller layered ovals, and it made it a little bit easier because I didn't have to modify my cut. But as it turns out, this really wasn't that big of a deal to do. So when you're doing this, just make sure that you're going to take your pink layers and just cut off a little bit off the bottom edge. And even still, you may have, like I've cut this one and how it's got kind of a little point right here. Maybe just shave it off a tiny bit. You don't necessarily have to, but if you want to. Okay, now let me put my foot right here. And I'm just lining it up so that it kind of hugs the face just a little bit. And then I'm doing the other one just the same on the opposite side. Here we go. So just like that. Isn't it cute already? Okay, and then I want to take the face and get it put together. So with the little pink circle here, and the circles, they're kind of hard to work with, but it's totally worth it, I promise. You could use your take your pick tool for this also. That would make it a little easier as well. And so this is the tongue. So we just want it to be down towards the bottom and kind of in the center right there. All right. And then his cute little cheeks. We'll put a little adhesive on each one and put them down together. Okay. So like this. Not like that, not on top of each other. Just a little overlapping in the middle, just a tiny, tiny bit, just like that, okay? And then this one is his nose, and it's just as easy to put your little dot right at the top of where the two circles meet, and then lay the nose down right there. So you see his little face is coming together, and it's absolutely adorable. I don't know what I've got, little speckle right there. Okay. And then with his eyes, the same thing. You want to just kind of put a little dot here and a little dot here, and you can kind of see roughly where you want them to go. And then we'll just lay them down. And they're going to touch the top of the cheeks. Just like that. Alright, we are almost done with our cute little bunny. And then just like that. There we go. I love it. Okay, before we attach the ears, you're going to want to take your bone folder and give them a little curl. So where there's more white on the top, you want to have that part out. Hold on to it at the base of it and just give it a little curl. And this is going to give our bunny just a little bit more personality. And then take your liquid glue and glue the whole bottom section of the ear, just like that. Okay, and then what I find to be easier is to lay them approximately how I want them, and then just lay my bunny down over the top, give them a press, and you've got a second with the liquid glue that you can move them around just a little. Okay, all right, so there's that. And then I can't find my white chalk marker, but I have a white glaze. So you would use a white pen of some sort. White chalk marker from Stampin' Up! Is perfect. This white glaze pen is going to have to do me. And I'm just putting some little dots. I'll show you. Around his eye there, you can see a little line, a tiny little dot, and then I've got his pupil. And that just gives him a little bit of life in his eyes. Hold on now. As long as it doesn't move. We don't want it to move. Alright, there we go. And then just like that. Alright. And then you'll take a black pen and we're going to make all of the little markings on his nose, or on his cheeks and on his feet. And I'm going to use my zig pen for that. And all we're doing is making a few little lines here for his cute toes. And I'm curving them just slightly so that it looks like they're kind of rounded. And then we'll make him a few whiskers and some freckles. And then our little bunny is good to go. Super cute, fairly easy to make. And then just some freckles to finish him off. There we go. And we'll be done. There it is. What do you think, folks? All right, there we go. Our handy dandy little cute bunny, and he's just gonna go right here on the bag. So let me get, you can either use glue dots or dimensionals, whichever you want to use. I use dimensionals on this one here, so that's what I'm going to use on this one as well. Let me go just a dimension there and a dimension there. And then remember, his foot's going to be hanging off the edge, so you may not want a dimension over there, but you could put one right there and just attach him like that. Isn't that adorable? I love it. All right, we are almost finished with this Easter bag, folks, or spring bag, as the case may be. Here we go. All right, the only thing our little bunny needs now is that adorable little bow. Now I'm using some contraband. I think it's retired now. The Calypso Coral Ombre ribbon. But I have a bit of it and it matches perfectly. So, but you can use a piece of white ribbon or whatever it is that you have on hand. And we'll just tie that cute little bow. And grab my scissors. There we go. Alright, adorable bow, and I like to stick my bows on with glue dots. It makes it a lot easier. And just like this. And we are finished. Alright, folks, I hope that you enjoyed this little project. And, you know, I've made this little bunny onto a card, onto treat holders, onto all kinds of stuff. And he is just the cutest little thing ever. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you'll try making the bunny for yourself, either for spring or Easter projects. And don't forget to follow the video Hop Along down in the description below. If you need to get a hold of any of these projects or products and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demo. You can find my website, danasullivan.stampinup.net, and be sure to follow my blog, stampinchicktn.blogspot.com, and you can find me on most social media platforms using the hashtag #TheStampinChick. All right, friends, until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.